Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. So today is Saturday, April 13th, and I'm going to be doing the Spring into Adventure tag. I know that I've been doing a lot of tags over the past few days because I'm trying to get this backlog of tags done, especially for the ones that particularly pertain to events that are taking place now in April. So this is the Spring into Adventure tag, which is an original tag that was created by Randy Ray at Literate Texan. I was tagged by James at Quaint and Curious Volumes, and also by Debs at Rainer Reads Stuff. Spring into Adventure is an event that is hosted by Mark at Book Time with Elvis, Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics, Shawn at Shawn D. Standfast, Jim at Mystery and Mayhem, and Debs at Rainer Reads Stuff. Okay, now I think that this tag, this event may go beyond April. I think I understand that it's a spring into adventure, so it may be beyond April. I hope that's the case. Anyway, in looking at the prompts, I realized that I don't read enough adventure literature. So I feel like I'm going to be saying the same couple of books over and over again. So I'll try to speed that up. So the first question is, what is your favorite adventure book? So I'm going to just quickly talk about two. When I was a child, I want to say I was in the fourth grade when I discovered this novel that was written actually some years before that. This was written, I think, in 1958. Jean Craighead George's My Side of the Mountain. I read this novel in the fourth grade, I think. The story of Sam Gribley, who is very unhappy living in New York City, and he takes off to live in the Catskill Mountains, and he lives close to nature all by himself. So it's a tale of survival and adventure. And I loved this book as a kid. I wanted to go and live in the forest, as probably every kid who read this book wanted to do. So it has always stayed with me as a favorite adventure story. And then when I was 13, I read the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think I had already read The Hobbit. I read The Hobbit when I was about 10, but I got the entire box set of The Hobbit and the trilogy when I was 13 as a Christmas gift from my brother, and I fell in love with the world that Tolkien creates, and probably nothing in the realm of fantasy has quite matched that, and the feeling that I had the first time I read those books. So that they have stayed as my favorites. Number two, what is the newest, most recently published adventure book you have read? This is a nonfiction book, David Grann's The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder, which I read for the octafinal round of the BookTube Awards for nonfiction. This is a riveting true story uh, of great seafaring adventure, mutiny, murder, shipwreck, everything. There's everything in that. This book was one of my top three in that judging round, and it has gone on to the next round. So it's a phenomenal book. Barnes and Noble named it their nonfiction book of 2023. That's the most recent adventure story that I've read. Number three, what is the oldest, as in earliest, published adventure book you have read? I'm going to go with The Odyssey by Homer, which I first read a children's version when I was a little kid, and then I don't think we read this in high school when I was in high school, but I read it, later. I read it again in college, and I certainly taught it when I was teaching high school. The the story of the great hero Odysseus on his way home from the Trojan War and all of the incredible adventures that he gets into over his many years on the seas, trying to get back to Ithaca. Okay, number 4. Who is your favorite adventure book author? I'm gonna go with my old time tried and true. I'm gonna stick with Tolkien. I don't think anybody has compared in my eyes. But I have also, as I've talked about in a couple of videos, I've become a recent convert to the wonders of science fiction. And a contemporary author that I'm finding that I truly love is Becky Chambers. This is the first volume in her Wayfarers series, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. But I think she's doing some really, really exciting things here. And it's also wonderful to see a female writer really just making waves and getting a lot of recognition in this genre. So she's right up there right now for me. Okay, number 5. What is your favorite film adaptation of an adventure book? I'm going to go with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring and The Return of the King especially. Who is your favorite adventure book character? This is number 6. I'm going to say Frodo Baggins, staying with my Tolkien, my love of Tolkien. Number 7. Do you prefer fiction or nonfiction adventure books? I don't read enough adventure books to have a strong preference, but I would say I've read more fiction than I've read nonfiction. So I'm going to say my preference is for fiction. Number 8, do you consider yourself adventurous? Why or why not? I do not consider myself adventurous in any way, shape, or form. I'm a homebody. I think I get most of my adventures from reading. I haven't done any of the things that I read about. So no, I am not an adventurous person. Number 9, what is your favorite genre to combine with the adventure genre? I would say fantasy and recently science fiction. And then the last question is, do you play or have you ever played adventure-themed games? Video games, board games, tabletop RPGs, etc. I do not. I think the last video game I probably played was on an Atari in the late 1970s, maybe early 80s. But I have spent a small fortune on games, both board games, gaming systems, whole systems, and individual games for family members. So I have an appreciation for them, and I have made a great investment in them, but I don't play them myself. Okay, and then finally, tag some people. So I'm going to tag a few people, but I would also like to invite anybody who's watching, if this tag interests you, if you have a sense of adventure, I hope that you will consider doing this tag. So I am tagging D at Through the Pages with D. I'm tagging Renee at Beyond Books. I'm tagging Darko at Kindles and Kicks. I'm tagging Gavin at Genre Books. I'm tagging Reed Becca. And I'm tagging The Mild Rumpus. And that should do it for this Spring into Adventure tag. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon, hopefully about something other than another tag. Stay well.